This video is brought to you by SRA Soldering Products.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy from the DIY and Digital, and last week we built a prototype for a DCC current sensor with Arduinos, and this week we're taking all of those components and we are putting them on a PCB board that we can use on a model railroad. Welcome back everybody. Like I said, we're taking last week's prototype DCC current sensor and we are turning it into this PCB board component that we can use on our layout easily. This is something that I haven't done a ton of on the channel, and that is turning my prototypes into usable parts for a model railroad. I want to show you guys how to do that. So let's go ahead and hop into this.
If you would like to see how I built the prototype, including the viewer updated code, you can check out the video in the link in the description below. I start with a blank prototyping PCB. This one is 2 centimeters by 8 centimeters. I begin placing my components, starting with the current transformer. Next is the two 1 million ohm resistors. And then the diode. I run some small jumpers from the current transformer to the diode, as well as to where the 5-volt connection will be. These jumpers are really great for PCBs, and I will link them in the description below. I then bend all of the components connection leads at a 90-degree angle to hold them in place while I am working on the board. Next, it's time to solder, which means it's time to talk about our sponsor, SRA Soldering Products. SRA Soldering Products out of Massachusetts is a hard-working team that has made it their mission to be the premier supplier of soldering and brazing alloys. My favorite thing about them is they are more than a supplier. They want to help you get better at soldering. Everything from their easy-to-navigate website, to their free How to Solder Electronics guide, to their instructional YouTube channel is designed to help you. I've even been working with them to launch a soldering kit just for model railroaders, and you can check that out in the link in the description below. SRA Soldering Products, sra-solder.com. In terms of soldering projects, soldering a PCB is pretty easy. All you need to do is use the iron to heat the point you want to solder and add just a bit of solder to it. The molten solder easily flows in and fills the holes on the PCB. Now we can add our terminal to connect the detector to the Arduino. We then bend our component feeders to contact the terminal and solder them in place. Now you can see that I've switched to a wide soldering tip for soldering between the PCB holes. This is what I consider the trickiest part of soldering a PCB. Lastly, I solder my connections to the current transformer, and this is without a doubt the ugliest solder that I do on this board, but it works and it gets the job done. And now we have a usable sensor.
Okay, so that's the build. We're going to go ahead and hook this up into our Arduino and give it a test.
Okay, we have the sensor connected and we can run our locomotive through our test block. We bring the locomotive to a stop, and you can see that the block registers as occupied with the LED on. Once we leave the block, the clear cycle counting takes a few seconds to register, and it turns the LED off. Now it's time to test with our resistor wheel set car. A reminder, this has a 10K resistor on it, and I've done a video on how to make these. I'll link that right up here. And you can see it turns on the LED. I did have to adjust the threshold up because I am making each one of these by hand, and each one is going to be slightly different. And you can see once again, the LED turns off when the car is removed from the block. Now we're going to try when the locomotive leaves the car in the block. And you can see it still works. Using prototyping PCBs like this is an easy way to do your custom Arduino projects and make them in a way that is easy to mount and install on your railroad.
So that is a Arduino-based DCC current sensor you can build yourself, put it on the PCB board just like this, and you can build one of these with the Arduino, if you do this right, for about $7 is how cheap that I've gotten it per detector that I've built. So definitely something worth checking out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. They are listed right here. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Big thank you to SRA Soldering Products for sponsoring this video. You can check them out at srasolder.com. They have that model railroading soldering kit that I've been working with them on. You can check that out in the link in the description below. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading. There's an ice cream truck going by. And it's playing some creepy music. I think he's driving off now. Okay, I think we're good.